Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to everybody to the Center for Spiritual Living, Carlsbad, California. One of the most beautiful spots on earth, and so is this place. We are here not to bow down to something outside of ourselves, but to learn how to live up to something inside of ourselves. So we have tools. This is a teaching that is both heart-filmed and intellectual, both mystical and practical, and it has something for everyone. I want to welcome those of you who are watching online. We're happy to have you join our community, and we're happy that all of you are here as well. Our musicians today are Andrea and Billy. We welcome them back. But we're going to begin with a spiritual mind treatment, which is not prayer, but giving our mind a treatment of spiritual truths. Because when we get into trouble in life, it's because we forgot the spiritual truth. So we always begin by recognizing what is real. There's one life, one power, one perfect beingness, living in, as, and through everything that lives. That power, called by many names, truly is beyond our comprehension. And yet we can know it from within. We can feel its presence as the I am that we are. And we feel it as love and joy and peace and vitality and supply. All of the qualities of being that belong to the universe are ours. To express, to individualize, to reveal. And so we come here today in recognition of all that and knowing that there is something here for everyone. Whatever you have brought with you today, whatever you are seeking, whether it's an aha, a realization, a shift, a sudden awareness, a healing, it's possible here. For the only power there is everywhere present, all at once, all the time, all of it, and it never withdraws or never withholds. It has no opposition. There's no conflict in this universe. It is one song, one word, one voice, singing the great I am. And so we begin today's service in cheerful expectation to be surprised and delighted at what we experience for ourselves. We're grateful to be here. We're grateful for this place, for each other, for our beautiful senior spiritual director, Reverend Kate DuVivier, for our musicians, for our volunteers, for everyone who makes this happen. We live in gratitude. And so we begin this morning with cheerful hearts and open minds, and we let it be whatever it is. And we say it together. And so it is. Thank you.
Into the heavens, and it
One life, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect love and perfect intelligence. I am an individualized expression of all that it is. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect intelligence. Beautiful, thank you. All right, so let's welcome back Andrea and Billy.
I am worthy of my own love. I am worthy of my own love. I am worthy of my own love. I am precious, a child of the one. I'm not too little or too much. I'm not too little or too much. I'm not too little or too much. I'm enough just as I am. And I stand up and speak my truth. I stand up and speak my truth. I stand up and speak my truth. I am strong and I express myself, 'cause I am worthy of my own love. I am worthy of my own love. I am worthy of my own love. I accept who I am, and I take dominion of my life. I take dominion of my life. I take dominion of my life. I believe in myself and I have faith, 'cause I am worthy of my own love. I am worthy of my own love. I am worthy of my own love. I am the power, presence of God. I am the power, presence of God.
Lovely.
That was beautiful. Thank you, Andrea. Thank you, Billy. Did you write that?
Jennifer Russell.
Oh, it was lovely. Thank you. So, here's the question of the day. Have you ever wished that you could make a fresh start? Anyone? You know, or maybe you already have made a fresh start, or maybe 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or a dozen fresh starts, right? You know, we all have been through changes. And to be honest, from our point of view, with every step you take, every breath you take, every thought that passes through your mind, you're actually back at the beginning again. But whatever. So my topic today is make way for a new day. And it's really perfect for me because I am a very accomplished expert at not changing. Not letting go. You know, people talk about the art of decluttering, and I am like the opposite. I have a box in my bedroom of things that I want to get rid of, and I seem to take them back out. as often as I put them in, or almost, unless they absolutely don't fit. But I'm kind of like Shakespeare's Juliet, saying in my mind, and oh, parting is such sweet sorrow that I shall say goodbye until the morrow. That's kind of often my MO. But even that is a goodbye. It may take a while, but it's still saying goodbye. And so we don't want to put a time limit on how long it takes us to say goodbye. But the question is, why should we say goodbye to anyone or anything at all? Why not just keep on keeping on and try our best to hold on to what we've got? Or why not hold on to what we've got and then try to get some more too, right? It's a little awkward if you think about it. You've got so much that you're already carrying, and grab a few more things on, because as an expert in holding on, I can tell you that it can cause some problems when you're holding on to everything, and especially at the same time, you're thinking about, oh, and I want this new thing. So in the past week, I have been thinking, every time I look at our website and update it, I've been thinking, oh, we really need a new website. But it's like, well, I don't really have time to deal with a new website. And even though our wonderful volunteer, Daryl over there, is like, maybe you could get a new website. I'm like, oh, yeah, but later. So this week, I broke our website. So if we don't plan on change and make steps for change will happen, because I already had that thought planted in my mind, right? The thought was, I think we need a new updated website. I didn't take practical steps, so it just happened. Change happens whether we want it or not. Just think for a moment about something simple like a bodily function like breathing. What happens if you hold your breath? A little breath holding can be a good thing. You can swim underwater. You can, when you're driving by the sewer plant, you can hold your breath and avoid smelling stuff you don't like to smell. You can even use holding your breath as part of a helpful relaxation technique. But if you overdo it, you might pass out. Or if you're like me, you can't really hold your breath for long enough to do something like that, because nature forces you to breathe. It's natural for us to breathe. As long as we're alive, we will breathe. We must keep our breath circulating in order to live. And this is true about some other things that happen with our physical bodies. Let's take aging, for instance. And that's a good one for us to talk about, because as New Thought students, we teach life is eternal. Life overall is eternal, and we also teach that our own individual life is eternal. And yet, so far, I haven't seen anyone whose body has lasted forever. Although I understand right now there are a few billionaires or centimillionaires that are working hard on trying to see if they can live forever. I read about one who's in his 40s. He's got a fortune of like $500 million, and he's decided to spend it on living forever. And so he does all these things. He's got millions of followers on social media, getting a lot of publicity. But I read one article about him, and it quoted his assistant, who is adopting some of the things that he's doing. And she said, and this is about following his blueprint of eating, sleeping in a certain way, taking 60 pills a day. She said she was doing it, but that she found she had given up all of the things that she had come to cherish in small ways about her life. What kind of a trade-off is that? So maybe, maybe some people will combat aging successfully through medicine, and I'm not going to judge their efforts to do this. But keeping our body, our physical body intact is not what we mean when we talk about life being eternal. I mean, think about it. Do you look back on your childhood and ever say to yourself, wow, I wish I had stopped at age 12? Just age 12 forever? Well, probably not. Although you may think, oh, I wish I had taken better care of my health, right? But still, you wouldn't want to stop changing altogether. Every year I learn more and more, and as time goes on, I actually can see that my mind, my brain at least, works differently than it did when I was in my 20s. Science explains that as we age, we shift from a type of fluid intelligence that helps people learn so quickly. Children can learn multiple languages so easily. But we switch to what they refer to as crystallized intelligence, which means when you're older, you don't have to figure everything out from scratch. You kind of have a repertoire to draw from. Would you give up all that you know now in order to go back to that child mind? Well, no, I wouldn't want to, and yet I still think it's great to keep our minds flexible and be open to learning about the world. It's wonderful to live a healthy life. It's wonderful to stay active, to be well, and we support everyone in all of the efforts that you take to experience energy and wellness. But at the same time, we are more than our bodies. And is there really any reason to be afraid of getting older? Well, if your answer is yes, then it's an opportunity to break it down. What in particular are you actually afraid of? Are you afraid of getting sick, or of not having enough money, or not having enough friends? It's not necessarily getting older. It may be these other things that we have linked in our minds to aging that are not necessarily linked up at all. I know plenty of young people who are afraid of not having enough money or becoming ill. I mean, really, but we tend in our culture to make a hard and fast connection. But we can change our thoughts about that. So I was thinking about this idea of eternal life. How could we describe it to ourselves or come to understand it? So if you happen to be old enough to have had someone in your life that you loved or cherished who has made their transition to the next experience, which is how we think of dying, you may have been fortunate to actually experience firsthand that you can still sense that love, that eternal love, that connection, that actually that feeling of connection doesn't just disappear when our when we leave our physical bodies. This is what we mean by the eternality of life. This love is the gift that keeps on giving and knows no physical boundaries. So whenever you do happen to think of someone who has made their transition, and I think this is important, think of them with love. And sometimes, depending on the emotion that you do have towards them, first you may find that you need to think of them with forgiveness. That may be the first step towards releasing, because everyone who's ever been in our lives hasn't been our best bud, right? But when we think with love, when we think of forgiveness of people, we're making a beautiful gift to spirit, to them. Just like when someone walks in here physically and we say, "Good morning, how nice it is to see you." And that brings me to the world of emotions, the world of the heart. When we talk about love, we often link that up with the symbol of the heart. So how can we even define love? I found a definition in the New Thought Dictionary that I liked, where it defines love as the outpouring of spirit, the givingness of life, and in its lesser sense, the affection that one consciousness has for another. Because the principle of love, this greater love, is not to be confused with sentimentality, right? It's a little more than a greeting card. This love, the great love, is actually the great transforming power of the universe, which brings everything into harmony. It is the unifying principle, the creative element, the motivating power of all that is in life. In metaphysical treatment, it is love that is the healing force. So I really like that idea, that explanation. So I looked up emotion, and it defined emotion as mental energy set in motion through feeling. And it's funny to me, I don't know, but I've said the word emotion like I don't know how many millions of times in my life. It never occurred to me it's like emotion, right? So it's setting things in motion. So our feelings that we have of joy or grief or fear or happiness or love, reverence, all of those emotions are something that we're setting in motion, right? We have our consciousness, and it's kind of creates a bridge between us and another person. So in this New Thought Dictionary, it says that in the well-balanced person, emotion is controlled by the intellect. But in many people, still trying to get balanced, maybe, there's conflict between the emotion and the intellect. And emotion uncontrolled can produce chaos. If it's not expressed, it can produce confusion or conflict or different types of complexes because energy must have an outlet. So it finds an outlet. Bottled up, it creates a pressure that can actually cause, they use the word damage, but I don't like to say damage. Let's just say unwanted conditions for us that we, then need to work through in a new way. So the author of The Science of Mind, ErnestHolmes, and I think perhaps especially in his later years, referred to the underlying and all-encompassing spirit of the universe and beyond, whatever we know and don't know about. This thing that other people call God, he began to refer to it more and more simply as life, this thing called life. And he did never claim to have the answers as to why we exist. And how could any of us have those answers? Because really we're limited beings, we admit that. You know, we are part of life, but we're not all of life. Yet we can think and we can investigate and we can study and we can create hypotheses and test them. That's why we call it science of mind. And from what I've learned in my studies so far, it seems safe to say that the entire creation of the universe and whatever else there may be is caused by love. Love is the outpouring of spirit, and love is also the self-consciousness of spirit. And I think we can actually say that spirit or life is love. Our experience of life is the experience that we have in whatever form it takes of love. So when people say love is all there is, it's true. But if it's true, then why do we have all of these different emotions like fear or jealousy or anger and sorrow? So just imagine for a minute a rainbow. Or if you want, imagine the last time you were by the beach or anywhere and saw an amazing sunset. They seem so magical. But when you look at it scientifically, you find out that what's happening is the light is being scattered or bent by traveling through raindrops or fog or haze. Just in the same way that if you shine a light through a crystal, you'll see all of the lights coming out from the crystal all over the room. So imagine for a moment that love is like light. And that when love travels through us and through our lives, it also is scattered or bent by traveling through our minds and our particular individualized experiences. And of course, instead of creating a rainbow, it creates our perceptions and our experiences and our how we seem, our personalities, I guess you could say. So we are not all of life. We are not all of love. We talk about being an individualization of it in the same way that one color that you see coming out of a crystal is still nothing but the light. So it seems to me that if this makes sense, then you could say that when our hearts and minds are clear and positive, we see the world, and we even create a world of sparkling, even magical clarity. While when our thoughts are muddled or chaotic, or when we feel oppressed by some situation that we haven't been able to deal with in a solid, happy way yet, it's really almost as if a dark cloud has blotted out most of the light for us altogether. That light, which is always there, that thing that is there behind the clouds, if you think of physical light, that thing which is always available to us when we think about this divine givingness, this light that is always available to us. And that brings me back to the beginning of my talk, Make Way for the New Day, because I was thinking as I was writing it, I could have just called it Wake Up. You know, it's time to wake up. It's time for us to stop walking around in a dreamlike state, feeling like today is overshadowed by feelings about and memories about the past and concerns, worries, or even happy feelings about the future. We need to wake up to what's happening now. We need to wake up to our spiritual magnificence. And that's been a vision for a teaching for a long time. You know, we have a quote, we are awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. It sounds kind of bold to say such a thing, doesn't it? But that's what's happening now. We're here in this moment. We are all engaged in waking up from doing things like they've always been done to waking up to the realization that we have choices and we don't have to make the perfect choice. We can choose to try this or that as we look towards finding our way, creating a new day, something that is more in alignment with who we really are. So think about Thomas Edison. And he said, you know, he when he invented the light bulb, it wasn't like he did a mathematical formula and voila, it was there. He tried, I think, thousands of trials before he got that light bulb to actually work correctly or last more than just an instant. And, you know, it said that when he would fail, when one of his experiments would fail, he'd be like, oh, well, I'm one more experiment closer to getting it right. So this is working with change. We can be open. And even today and for the past few weeks, right, in this room, we've been making changes. We've been seeing how it feels, getting some feedback, seeing how it looks and it sounds, getting it live streamed, you know. And for me, I had to let go of some of the old ways of doing things. But it feels good. It feels good to try new things. You know, why do we really get together? Is it for the cookies? No, I don't think so. It's not for the cookies. I think it's because we're teaming up. We're teaming up together to create this experience of coming together and having a conversation, sharing our stories, the paths that we're on, our progresses, our failures, and kind of recharging our batteries for the next week. We're teaming up to help each other along on this journey called life. You know, at the core, this center's reason for existence is the same as it was over 30 years ago. The whole goal is to share this transformative teaching that has changed the lives of so many of us. I mean, I know a lot of the stories of people here, my own story. It has brought change in wonderful ways. I think that in recent years, you know, because we all have challenges, even this center has had challenges, but in recent years, let's say starting with the beginning of the pandemic, which like just was a shockwave through the world, right? And then we had a gradual reopening afterwards. Through this time, it appears, it seems, that we have been in a period of contraction. So let's call it a period of breathing out. Like an exhalation. Here in our center, it's been kind of a quiet time. a time when we have needed to care for ourselves. And our small group that has been gathering here. So I think it's a little bit, I'm getting little messages about, wait, hold still because you're wiggling your microphone. I'll be like, well, then I have to hold this up. But imagine this. Imagine a tree, let's say a deciduous tree, although even the trees around here do lose their leaves. But let's pick an easy example of a maple tree. Every year, the maple tree loses its leaves, right? And then to the, passerby, you think like, oh, that poor tree, it lost all its leaves. What's happening? Is it gone to sleep? Is it doing nothing? Is it just nothing's happening? But actually, underneath the soil, big things are happening. The roots are busy at work, growing, searching out new nutrients, accumulating the reserves that it needs in order to be ready for the spring. When the sap rises again and the leaves come back, the buds open, and the blossoms magically appear, healthier and hardier than before the winter ever came. It appears that the tree has woken from a sleep, but actually it was busy all along making way for its new season, its new demonstration or manifestation. So is there a lesson in that image for us? I think so. I think that now is the time for us to appear to wake up, to make way for the realization and the demonstration of who we really are and what we really want. And I'm not just talking about this group effort that we make to come together on Sundays or at other times. I'm talking about you and me in our individual lives too. And I'm thinking that what is true for us individually is true on a broader scale for the human race. I believe that as individuals in this small group and in the grander scheme, we need to stop following the pattern of letting fear drive us apart from each other. That really was exacerbated by the pandemic, don't you think? People didn't want to get germs. Well, I don't like germs either, But we don't need to succumb to an irrational fear, right? So yesterday, as I was driving around town, it hit me. I saw a landscaper, and he was out in someone's yard, and he was working there, and I thought, wow, it's such a hot, sunny day, and he's wearing really heavy clothes, and he had a hood all the way up over his head. And I thought, wow, is he trying to be invisible by covering up so much? Maybe, I didn't really know. Maybe he was protecting himself from the sun. And then as I was driving down El Camino Real, I saw a kind of small person walking down the street on the sidewalk, dressed in black from head to toe, and he was wearing one of those ski masks, as though he was afraid, he wanted to be invisible. He didn't seem threatening. It seemed like a small person. I think it was a he, if you can tell that by how someone walks, or it's just in my mind that people who are willing to wear ski masks in the summertime. I don't know. I have no idea. But this person, when I saw them, I was like, wow, I hope they're not afraid to be on El Camino Real on it's a beautiful sunny August afternoon. But the thing is, how things seem is not how they really are. This experience will pass, right? This too shall pass. I don't have any particular fear that this city, Carlsbad, will fall apart, that everyone will be afraid of each other. That's not the truth about where we live. I don't even have any fear that this nation will fall apart. Yeah, there's ideas that are in conflict right now, but there's no reason to be afraid because we know the truth. The truth is that everything is an outpicturing of love. And that we have a teaching that really helps people see that truth, really helps people know how they can approach each other and approach what's happening in their lives. As ErnestHolmes wrote, we have learned enough through suffering. I believe that. Every person has access to all the truth that there is. And that's what it means when we talk about awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. It means to wake up and see what we are really made of. All of us are made of the substance of spirit itself. That is all there is. There's nothing else. We can clear a way for ourselves individually to live in joy because we're conscious. We have choice. You and I don't have to wait for outside circumstances to clear up before we can achieve clarity in our own mind and emotion. When we make new decisions, when we make new discoveries, when we set a new direction, it's beautiful. It's just like letting more and more of that light shine through our lives. When the light, and I'm talking about physical light, is unable to shine through the clouds, yeah, it's dark for a while, but then the sky clears and the sun seems like it's shining again. You know, we'll say, oh, look, the sun is out now. Well, in reality, the sun never stopped shining. Now, we may not be as powerful as the sun or the wind, but we do have an amazing gift. We are one with the power of the universe. And we humans we seem to experience life as a series of moments and events and thoughts linked together in like a string of time, right? Past, present, future. Yet, at the same time, we only live in this one moment. And we call that now. Now is where we are. We're always here and now. We're always in what you could think of as an aloha moment, really. You know, I was saying goodbye to the past, saying hello to the future. Oh, but this is my aloha moment in the now. But it's great. The gift of consciousness allows us to remember, allows us to learn. We're not in the now as a blank. You know, we're in this now with all that we have learned and gathered, everything that we need. This is why I believe this teaching is so important. The more we learn about how to use these principles, how to make new choices, the easier living in the now becomes. In the next couple of weeks, Dr. Maddie and Dr. Carol will talk a little bit more about how we can manifest this life of our dreams. But the first thing we have to do is make way. You know, it's up to us to accept the amazing gift of spirit, the gift of consciousness, and to use it to set ourselves free from the limitations of the past, to set ourselves free from the fears about the future, to set ourselves free or to begin to actually see more clearly than ever the breathtaking beauty of this thing called life. Right now. I mean, what do you think a speck of light in a rainbow would think about itself if it were conscious? Wouldn't it see how beautiful it was? Well, you're conscious. That's the gift. See yourself. It's like the song that Andrea sang. See yourself as worthy, beautiful. That's the truth. When we wake up to the truth about ourselves and the world and each other, we actually are like a light to the world. You know, Jesus has said, you're the light of the world. This is what we're talking about, allowing this brilliance to shine forth, be ourselves, allow ourselves to be who we really are. So that's the word of the day, is let the light of love shine through your life, through you, as you, for you. Let love surround you, because love is all there is, and here you are. So let's make way for the new day. Thank you.
Sometimes I'm right, I can be wrong. My own beliefs are in my song. The butcher, the banker, the drummer, and then makes no difference the group I'm in. I am everyday people. I am everyday people. There is a green one who doesn't like the brown one for being such a fat one, who's trying to be a skinny one. Different strokes for different folks, and so on and so on, a Scooby-Dooby-Dooby. Oh, we got to live together. I am everyday people. I am no better, and neither are you. We are the same, whatever we do. You love me, you hate me, you know me, and then it makes no difference the bag I'm in. I am everyday people. I am everyday people. You know what? There is a long hair who doesn't like the short hair for being such a rich one, who will not help the poor one. Different strokes for different folks, and so on and so on. Oh, we got to live together. Here we go. I am everyday people. There is a white one who doesn't like the black one, who doesn't like the yellow one, who doesn't like the red one. Different strokes for different folks, and so on and so on. Scooby-Dooby-Dooby. Oh, we got to live together. Here we go. I am everyday people. I am everyday people. I am everyday people.
Thank you, Andrea and Billy. And thank you, Reverend Kate, for beautiful talk. Wasn't she wonderful? I got one of the best teachers in the world right here. Now it's time for conscious giving. Reverend Kate spoke about energy moving, and money is energy. And when you hold it in your hand, it's just paper and metal. But when you do something with it, it comes alive. And it goes in one direction, circle. It moves around the circle and comes back to us, pressed down, overflowing. It's a principle, it's a law, it always works. But there is one little caveat, and that is that when we give money, when we spend money, when we share money, it must be done with love. It must be done with an open mind, an open heart. It must be done with the sense, I always have plenty to spare and share. Say that out loud. I always have plenty to spare and share. And we do. Life expands, it evolves, it grows according to what we do with our intention. All right, so if our ushers will join me up front, Reverend Kate asked me to do a prosperity treatment, so I'm just going to do a short one, but I think it's important that we remember something, and that is that this universe and everything in it is the visible evidence of an incredible intelligence, and it never runs out of anything. There is an infinite reservoir of substance, star stuff, out of which everything is made, and that includes money. Our supply comes from our consciousness. Our supply never withholds itself. It cannot. It is always forthcoming, ready to be moved through the circle of our life, pressed down and returned to us overflowing. And so today we say, thank you, universe, for this beautiful system of replenishment. I can never run out of anything, for everything comes from consciousness, and my consciousness is rich. I am full. I am complete. I am ready to give. And so it is. All right, so let's participate by saying something together. And it's in your program. Divine love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I am, and all that I give. I know this is so, and so it is. Okay, Andrea, you want to lead us in our I Am So Blessed?
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful. I am so blessed.
Thank you, and thank you for your generous sharing. It's how we operate, by like PBS, from people like you, and we're always grateful. So we just have a few announcements. Okay. You can find most of them. I'm just wondering if the website's back up. Are we going to be able to? It's not. Okay. So normally you would be able to find most of them on our website, and it will be back up soon. But in the meantime, everyone is invited to stay and have some snacks and some coffee and meet and greet each other. And I'd love to meet those of you who I haven't met yet, and I know Reverend Kate would too. So stay after for fellowship. You'll find information on our tables about the center and about upcoming activities. Next week is Potluck Sunday. That's always a happy time. And we have another event being organized by our friendship team. Ruth Ann, sitting right here in the front row, I don't know if you knew this about her. You know, people have secrets. And one of hers is she used to be a flower arranger. So she's going to hold a workshop for us and show us how to do it. There is an art to it. I did a little bit of it myself once, and there's an art. And there's some mechanics involved. So that's going to be fun. That's going to be on Saturday, August 23rd. And you can find out more and sign up during our time after service. I want to remind everyone that you can request spiritual mind treatment. Now, I want to talk about this just a bit. This is one of the most powerful things I have ever discovered in my 84 years on this planet. Spiritual mind treatment is not prayer. It's 21st century prayer, if you want to call it that. It's scientific prayer, if you could call it that. But it is stunningly effective when it is done in the consciousness of absolute belief in the Word, and the Word is made flesh by means of us. So you can request, you don't have to have anything wrong. You can request an expansion of the good in your life. You can request an increase in your prosperity, an increase in your health, an increase in your joy, an increase in your relationships in harmony and balance. So whatever it is, I love doing treatments for you. And so do our practitioners. Reverend Kate is a practitioner. Dr. Maddie's a practitioner. Larry is a practitioner. We love doing them for you, so please avail yourself of that service. It's a huge part of this teaching. All right? Okay. Yes, did that. We want to thank volunteers. Now, we have a lot of them, especially those of you who are here every week. But I want to say something today. Reverend Kate, I keep calling her Dr. Kate, it's going to happen. Reverend Kate, she's the best volunteer of the bunch. She's here at 8:30 every Sunday morning. I usually get here with her, but she's been doing this for years before I came on the scene. She hauls stuff out of her car that she brought from home. She's already made the program. She's printed up anything that needs to be printed up. She brings some food. She brings some supplies. She goes to Smart and Final and buys the cups and things that we need. This is not necessarily what a minister ought to be doing. And then she comes here and she works her little you-know-what off, setting up tables and opening boxes, and I think it's got to stop. It's got to stop. So we need two people to step up and say, I'll come here. Maybe you could do it every other week or twice a month. That would be every other week, wouldn't it? I was never good at math. But just please think about this. Let's take care of our minister. She's got enough going on, right? All right, thank you for that. I want to thank Morgan for bringing the flowers today, and she made me a little bouquet for our new table setup. Very flexible of her, thank you. Daryl and Johnny, gifts from the universe, doing our live streaming, and Jim also helping out with that. There's just so many people. Dave for setting up, and of course, Andrea and Billy. They're not volunteers, we pay them, but we'd like to give you a round of applause. Okay, we have a volunteer sign-up sheet in the lobby, and you can avail yourself of that. All right, so just like the Olympics, we have a little closing ceremony. Not quite as elaborate, but Ruth Ann, if you'll join me, she's going to be our candle lighter today. And the reason we moved it to the end of the service is we want you to have something to take with you that you can embody, because we're going to ask you to say some things out loud. And I've changed things just a tiny bit. Don't worry, I'll prompt you. So, the first candle we're lighting is a candle for spirit. Spirit is all there is. It's everywhere present, all of it, all the time, all at once. It's right here where you are. And so we can say without hesitation, I am spirit. We light a candle for love. Love is that cohesive power that brings things together that belong together and maintains them in harmony and balance. It's throughout the universe. It's everywhere. We are its outlet in this dimension. So let's say it with certainty. I am love. We light a candle for light. You know, everything's made out of light. We're all condensed light. And if we could see each other as we really are, all we would see is light. And light is spirit. So we radiate that light wherever we are. Let's say it out loud. I am light. We light a candle for, oh, look at you over there already, for prosperity. We're made in the image and likeness of the universal presence that makes everything out of itself by becoming the thing it makes, and so do we. So we generate our own prosperity through the avenue of our consciousness and our belief that we are wealthy beings and we deserve to live a prosperous life. Say, I am wealth. I am wealth. And we light a candle for joy. There's nothing I like better than to hear a baby laughing, and that's pure joy, bubbling up from the being, and we feel that same thing when we're in any kind of environment that allows us to be truly who we are. We feel joyful. All right, so it's the very nature of spirit, and it's our true essence. Let's say it out loud. I am joy. I'm looking at I believe that's the last one. Thank you, Ruth Ann. You did a beautiful job. Give her a little round of applause. All right, we have a closing song. And I think that's a wonderful way to end any group gathering, is with music. So Andrea's going to lead us in it, and the program has the words on the back. So thank you for being here today. Come back soon. We always have more things, wonderful things to offer. Ready, Andrea?
Open your heart, let your love go free, out over the ocean, right across the street. Let it flow like a river, let it fly like a dove, till your heart remembers you can't stop love. Once you get it started, watch what it does. It'll go full circle. You can't stop love.
Thank you. Have a blessed week, everyone.